I used to call games nationally. So I would go to a different city every week to call a football game. Go to Green Bay for the Packers-Vikings game, go to Tampa for the Tampa Falcons game, whatever. And I did a Chargers-Raiders game in San Diego, and it was nasty. It was not a good vibe. It was...
It could get pretty brutal, especially down in San Diego. It was a little worse.
It got brutal, man, and I was like, dude, this ain't cool. And so when the Chargers came up here, and when they moved to LA, they hired me as their play-by-play voice. So I've been with them since they've been in LA. First time I went to Oakland, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be pretty gnarly. And I'm walking around with my Chargers polo because I'm working and kind of thing. And dude, the people were so cool. They were rad. They were, I'm having conversations with them on the field. I was like,
there's a little bit of a rap because of that San Diego stadium that was happening for so many years.
Dude, that was a different.
Nasty. You had. I have a friend who's a cop down in Oceanside, and the Chargers logo for years down there was used as a gang sign as well. So there was a lot of that element, and then of course Raiders with their stigma as well. Yeah. Raiders fans, there's a lot of that element in the parking lot that you would see.
Exactly.
I think you're describing.
Because I would tell people, I did a lot of 49er games, and people would not believe me when I would tell them. I said, listen, I will take Raider fans every day and twice on Sunday over Niner fans. I'm like, Niner fans are nasty, man. That is a wildly underrated, nasty fan base, man.
Really?
They get after it.
I've been to one game over at Levi since they've been there.
It's a little bit different at Levi's. Mm-hmm. It's much better. At Candlestick, dude, it was nasty. Yeah. I would see some serious shit in the parking lot.
I think everyone's just got to be mad, though. Candlestick, historically, I never got to go there, but
it was a dump.
I heard it was a pretty bad place.
Complete, Oakland.
We
had the worst stadiums in the league. We had San Diego. Qualcomm was a dump.
Yep.
Oakland is a sewer.
Right.
And Candlestick was a dump.
That was the one thing though when you talk about those dumpy places, when the Raiders inevitably went to Vegas.
Yeah.
Thank God.
It's a great stadium. It's so cool.
I haven't actually been yet. I've been on the outside.
Awesome. It's really cool.
If only I knew someone to get me in there too.
Get you in there.
But so a lot of the Oakland fans out there I didn't hear it too much, honestly, but a couple of times you'd hear someone say, oh, now they're not my team anymore.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, come on. They couldn't stay there. You cannot ask a professional team to play on a goddamn baseball diamond for that many years in the worst stadium ever.
Below sea level. So the entire, this was the thing that blew me away the first time I went there and walked on the field. When you would get to one of the corners, it would get mushy. And I'm like, what is up with it? And they're like, oh yeah, dude, it's below sea level. So the water, you can't get the water out of this spot. They pump the hell out of it, but it still won't get out.
I was able to go in the locker room area and stuff like that. We had a show next door at the convention center years ago, and one of my friends from high school over here at Marina High School, Derek Barton, was playing for the A's. He was the first baseman for the A's before Giambi came back.
Right.
And he got us into they were out doing, baseball stuff. And he was like, oh, if you guys want to use the gym. I went to that gym and I was like, this is the worst
than a hotel
gym I've ever. I was like, thanks. Yeah. This is bad. And I'm like, these are two professional teams in here.
It was brutal, dude. The first time I saw the gym, there was food on the ground, and I'm like, dude, that looks like a bicycle from 1960.
None of those guys work out there.
No, they can't.
No.
They can't. So and look, I think that's the same thing with the Chargers. It's like, dude, if you were ever at Qualcomm, that place was a dump, and they weren't getting. And I guess, this is such an unpopular thing, and this is where I'm going to get all the negative comments, but it's because nobody ever wants to side with billionaire owners. I know, yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, trust me. Raider Nation is not like me, which is fine. But when you're, and they're like, why are there public funds for these football stadiums? These owners are billionaires. And I'm like, all right, well, let me put it to you this way. A football team plays 10 home games a year. They play 8, when it was 16, they would play 8 and 2, 8 regular season, 2 preseason. That is 10 dates. Out of 365, 10 days will be occupied by your football team. Mm-hmm. The other 355 is something else. If I don't want to be a promoter and I don't want to be a landlord for this giant stadium and deal with the upkeep, why the hell do I have to build it? Why do I have to build this thing that the city's going to want to use for its college team, for concerts, I'm not in that business. I don't want to own this stadium. I don't want to spend $2 billion to build it. I just want to play in it. Like that's what my position. Like when I heard about Kroenke, $6 billion to build SoFi. Dude, I'd much rather be the Chargers paying $1 in rent and doing revenue splits. It's like, to me, I'll play my 10 games here, and you can get Taylor Swift in here for 7 days and deal with that writer, because I want nothing to do with it.
I mean, I'd go for that.
Right.
No, but I guess you have a point. I mean, I just wonder, like, I see both sides of it, to be honest, because if I had that much money and I was owner of a team and I was bringing it in, of course, I'm going to go to the city and be like, hey, you need to kick down some too.
Right.
We'll build it together. But maybe if I can own that whole damn thing, then I could be making more money the rest of the time of the year. And as a businessman, which, you don't become a billionaire owner not being a smart businessman, why wouldn't you also then push it out and make it that kind of
vibe?
And
I think I guess I should have clarified. I'm speaking to like Mark Davis, who doesn't have that money.
No, he doesn't.
And so he's like, I don't want to build it. I don't want to be the owner. I don't want to be the promoter. You guys can do that. You can make all that money. I don't want to spend the $2 billion.
Right.
So I get it. So Vegas is like, okay, cool. We'll build it. We'll be the promoter. You can play there. Come to us. And it's like, cool.
Yeah.
Now we're good.